Now you students are learning that that is true. The best way to know something is to write about it, and that's the deepest kind of knowledge. And the most empowering thing is to be published, to have your writing published. You feel really like you're on top of the world, like you are the greatest, because you are, right? And you got published by competing and being the best, so own it, own it. And when you read aloud to us today, that's the final piece, because that will be exhilarating. You might be nervous about it right now, but you will be completely exhilarated because you will be giving voice to your words, and there is nothing more fantastic than that. So I'm going to enjoy listening to you, but I know you're going to enjoy more speaking your writing to us.
Yeah.
As soon as you mentioned reading out loud, I saw people right? I'm Adam Berlin, co-editor of John Jay's Finest, and Professor Hyman and I both teach creative writing courses here at John Jay. And what we try to coax out of our students are personal stories, stories that reveal character and have enough plot to keep the story moving, and a thematic through line that says something about life. But on the most basic level, writing a strong story, like writing a strong essay, is about getting the words right, the lines right. The essays and creative work in this year's Finest do what writing needs to do. There are strong ideas here, interesting arguments, a thorough use of primary sources, but as Professor Hyman and I read through the pile of submissions that come in every year, we'll often stop reading on the macrocosmic level and say, that is a good line. And then we'll read the line out loud to each other, and usually that piece gets put in the book. Sometimes what separates special writing from writing that's merely good or competent is the prose, the word choices, the sentence rhythms, the turns of phrase. This year's Finest has many fine, fine sentences. I'd like to echo what Professor Hyman just said and congratulate all the writers in the room on their fine work. You're in the book, and that's a lasting testament. I'd like to thank again the professors in the room who took the extra effort to recognize their best students' work and nominate it, and in many cases work through drafts with their students so that the very best versions of their papers and creative work could be featured in John Jay's Finest. We see many of the same professors here year after year after year and applaud your ongoing commitment. And thank you to the friends and family members of the writers here today for showing up, an indication that you've shown up in many other ways. I also want to echo our thanks to President Travis and Provost Bowers for their ongoing commitment to the publication of John Jay's Finest. I was at President Travis's final State of the College address just last week, where he singled out the celebration of the Finest as one of the proud moments of the academic year, which it certainly is. And now comes the proudest moment of the day. As tradition decrees, we're going to go through the book, writer by writer, and hear an excerpt from each published piece. When we call your name, please stand up, introduce yourself, say a few words about your paper and your professor and the class for which you wrote your paper. This is your chance to showcase your fine work, so enjoy the moment. Okay, we'll just go from the beginning to the end of the book.
I'm turning the air conditioner back on, so it means you have to be loud. Otherwise,